Hey guys, welcome to my channel. In this video I'm gonna talk about how to legally change your name in Ontario. Since I just got my name change certificate and I know the process, I've been through it, and also there is no such YouTube video that talks about the whole process, that guides step by step, that walks you through the application. So that's why I've decided to make this video to make your process a little bit easier. So without wasting any time, let's get started. So first we're gonna type Ontario name change, and then I'm gonna click this link ontario.ca on name change. I'm gonna change my name as an adult name change. So you can change your name as an adult if you are 16 years of age or older and has lived in Ontario for the past 12 months. If you have these two things, then you can definitely apply for name change in Ontario. So here I'm gonna download this application. So to download this application, you must have Acrobat version 10 or above. You can download it, the thing from here. In case or for some reason you can't download it, this file, I'll try to put it in description box to make it easier for you guys to access the file. So here now it's downloaded. I'm gonna open this one. First you print this application and then start filling it with blue or black ink. So once you finish your application, sign it, do all the important steps that you need to, then you mail your application to this address. In case you want to discuss about any situation, you want to confirm something, contact number that you can contact to. It's very important to understand the application before filling it. I spent almost like a week to understand the application, read it again and again so that I don't miss anything. So I highly encourage you guys to do the same thing. So this is just a statement that this application is a permanent legal record. So your name will be published in the Ontario Gazette. So this is the government's official publication, so that can be searched online. If you're changing a child's name, then your child should be 17 years of age or younger. Same thing, they must have lived in Ontario for the last 12 months. So get the right number of application forms. So if you're filling, let's say, for yourself and for your child, you need two separate applications for you and your child. Make sure you allow enough time to complete the application, because as it states here, it may take several weeks to gather all the required information to finish this form. So please print clearly, use blue or black ink. Do not use correction fluid on this application. That's a very important step. In case you skip something, in case you made a mistake, please print a new page instead of just using a correction fluid or like just canceling it, to avoid the hassle. Because afterwards, what you have to do in case you do that, then you have to put a bracket around the wrong information, and then you enter the correct information, and then you're going to put your initials, and then you have to get it commissioned by the person who is going to commission your form at the end. So that's a lot of hassle, so I would suggest printing a new page instead. Yeah, then here it talks about the fees, $137 for adult name change. So if you're changing your child's name with your application or with you, then it's gonna be $22. But if you're changing your child's name separately, then it's gonna be $137. So here we're gonna fill out the details about our current name. So let's say my current name is Alex, let's say. If you have any middle name, you're gonna put your middle name. So in my case, so what happened in Punjabi Indian community, at least in my case, so we all have a common name as Kaur and Singh. And second part is our surname was something that was never mentioned legally in papers. So we have, obviously we all have our surname, but it was never mentioned on passports or birth certificates. So when I came in Canada, I got to know that we have to have our last name. So in my case, in my passport, it's just given name. If you are if you have the same thing, then it's only our last names. The whole name is last name. So I'm gonna put like everything in here. Let's say ABC core is my whole name, and then your street address, ABC. If you have your apartment or unit or suite number, then you're gonna put it here. PO box, city. I'm just putting anything random, and then here you're gonna mention how many years you have been living in Ontario. Born in my case, I was born in India, and then Punjab was my state, and then you're gonna put your city or town or village mentioned in your passport. I know sometimes it's a little bit weird, but our passport says one thing, but originally we're born like to some other city or village. So be sure to mention the same thing, whatever is mentioned in your passport, because we are gonna give the photocopy of our passport with the thing, so they'll confirm everything from there. Okay, so next is, what do you want your new name to be? So here's a thing where you want to write down what you want your name to be. If you wanna, you can choose anything. If you want, let's say you want single name, you don't want any last or middle name, you can choose that. Or you want to add middle name, or you want to add your surname as last name, whatever. So in my case, I just wanted to add my last name, my surname as my last name, because I didn't have it in papers. That's what I want my name to be. Now move to this page. So are you married? Are you not married? So you're going to mention that yes or no. What was your spouse or partner's name before you got married? You're going to mention that. And then when did you get married? And then where did you get married? You're going to mention that. So if you signed any document like this, so you're going to fill this form, and you want to change your last name to your spouse or partner's last name, so you can fill this this part, first name, last name. Yeah, you're going to mention everything. And when did you send it to Office of Registrar General? You're going to mention the year, month, and day. So next, you're going to mention your parents' information. It should be the information that is mentioned, that is listed on your birth registration. If you need any additional space for parent information, so you can photocopy this blank page and complete it and enclose it with the application as it's mentioned here. And then here, part C is why you want to change your name. So you're going to mention everything. So in my case, I just mentioned that in my community, we have like all of the girls and boys have like similar last name. So in Canada, we have to have last names. So I want to change my name. I want to separate my name as like first, middle, and last name. So you can mention whatever is the reason of your name change. Then have you ever changed your name before? Let's say you want to change your name second time, so you're gonna fill this form. So one more thing, even if something is not applicable to your situation, for example, you're not married or anything, so you will still attach that form, that page with the form. You can't skip it. Just put it there and leave it blank. Yes. So then, have you ever changed your name before? You're gonna mention like, when did you change your year, month, day. What was your name before you changed it? And then what happened? What was the name after you changed it? And then where was your name changed? If your name was changed more than once, so you're gonna, so yeah, even if it's like 2-3 times you change your name, and then you're gonna photocopy the page and fill all the information, additional information on second copy, and we'll attach it with this form. Applied for a name change before and been refused, so they want to know about that too, if it has ever been refused. And then information about criminal offenses. So this part should be answered by all applicants. Yeah, yes or no based on your information. If you have any pending court proceedings against you. So if you know, you're good. Like, but if you're saying yes, then you have to fill in all the information regarding the file number, court name, address, and everything. So you're gonna finish that. So if you answered yes to questions 2, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, or 5th, then you have to provide a current original police record check. So you can download the requirements for that in here, and then you can start the process with it. Next is financial information. Again, if it's no, you're good, but if it's yes, then you have to fill in all the information, like code, file number, code name, and everything. And then part 2. So this is like giving notice about your name change. Here it's gonna tell you that you're gonna fill this part only if you're married or you signed any joint declaration of conjugal relationship. But if you're not married and you didn't sign anything like that, then you don't have to complete this form. So here's what you have to do if you are completing this part. So you have to remove this page and fill your information here. I'm talking about this form, and then send it to your spouse or partner. So if your partner is living with you, then you don't have to send it to them. Of course, you're not going to mail it to them. You're just going to get the sign and complete the form and attach with it. But if your spouse is not, or partner is not living with you, then you have to mail it to the person, and then show the proof that you mailed the mail receipt with the form. So if you get the form completed by the person and send it back to you, then you're gonna attach it with the application. But for some reason, if you don't hear back from your partner or spouse, then with the receipt that you're gonna attach, the mail receipt will show to the registrar that you tried to contact the person but did not hear back for some reason. And then notice form, this is the notice form, this is the form I'm talking about, that you have to fill this part. So all this information is given to your partner or spouse. So if they have any questions, they can contact this number here. So you're gonna fill your name here, ABC, and then your first, middle, or last name, and then your new name. You just want to notify the person that this is your new name, and your mailing address, so that they can send it back to you, your signature. And also one more thing, you have to notify your spouse, as I think it's shown here, 30 days. Yes, so you have to notify the person like at least 30 days before submitting the application. So keep in mind. So your spouse is gonna fill this part. And then getting consent to change your name, you're gonna fill this part only if you are 16 or 17 years old and you are not married. If you're 16 or 17 years old and you're married, you don't have to fill this part. But you have to show that you are married by showing your a copy of marriage certificate. But if you are 16 or 17 and not married, then you have to send your legal custody of every person. So you have to send all the original documents with this form. So here it's the form, like you're gonna fill this information, your current name, your new name, your mailing address, so that it can be sent back to you. And this will be filled by your guardian, your legal guardian, your parent or legal guardian. In case any guardian refuses to sign or return this page to you, then you may ask Ontario Court of Justice for an order allowing you to apply for the name change without the person's consent. So if the court gives you such an order, then you have to submit the court certified copy of the order to show it to Registrar General that you have that relaxation. Part 4 talks about the process of showing to the registrar that you have lived in Ontario for at least 12 months immediately before submitting your application. So it gives the list of these 10 people who can be your guarantor, who can guarantee that you stayed in Ontario for at least 12 months. Even if you are born in Ontario, you still have to meet the residency requirements. So if you don't know any of them, then you can find a person other than your relative who can sign this form for you and who have known you for 5 years. For me, I knew none of them. So what I did is, like, I just the person who commissioned my form suggested me to that he can be my guarantor. So he signed the form, the stamped it, so I was like tension free for that thing. So you can even find your friend or like anyone who has known you for 12 months. So this is the form that that guarantor will be signing. So you're gonna fill this part, and then your guarantor is gonna fill this part, sorry, and then your occupation. So how long have they known you? So yeah, all this information, they're gonna sign it, and date. Next is part 5, documents. It's a review of the documents that needs to be sent with the application. So if you're born inside Canada, including Ontario or any other province, so you have to submit your original birth certificate or certified copies of birth. So don't worry about that. They'll return everything after confirming your information. If you're born outside of Canada, then they need your legal name proof. And if you have ever changed your name, then they need proof of that as well. For some reason, if there are differences in your name or date of birth or place of birth between your IDs, then they'll ask for additional documents for that. So you have to submit a written explanation with the form stating why the information is different, and any supporting documents that can show that. All people born outside of Canada are required to submit. So first, photocopy of the original birth certificate or photocopy of certified copy of birth registration from the country of birth. And then if you don't have one, then you have to include a signed written explanation of the reason why you don't have birth certificate and what have you done to try to get it. I know a lot of people don't have birth certificate, so you make sure you include that written explanation of the attempts you made to get it and why you couldn't get it. And then the second thing is, like, you have to submit a photocopy of a Canadian citizenship card or certificate, both sides, and then photocopy of any your Canadian record of immigrant landing, your study permit, your work permit, whatever, and then PR card if you have one, for both sides again. And then third, you have to submit a photocopy of your passport that you used to enter Canada. So yeah, that's for outside of Canada. Next thing is, like, if you're born outside of Canada and you don't have your birth certificate in English, then you have to follow the following instructions given here. So first, that document needs to be translated in English or French. So what do they need is a complete photocopy of the document requiring translation. Photocopy. And then a complete photocopy of the translation of that original document. So both of these photocopies will work, but for the written declaration, they need original. So an original written declaration from one of the following. So from the person who is translating your document. So with their signature and stamp. So the translator must state that they understand English or French along with the language they are translating, and their declaration that the translation is accurate and complete. So if the translator is not a professional translator, then the declaration must be sworn in front of the commissioner for taking affidavits. But I would strongly suggest you guys to go to the professional. I made that mistake because of what my form was returned to me and it got delayed by like 2 months, I would say. So don't make that mistake. It's better just to go to the professional and get your thing done. So if your translator's declaration is written on the translation, then you have to submit the original document. Do not submit the photocopy. So again, let me say it again, because that's very important step. Photocopy of your birth certificate or any other document that's not in English or French, only the photocopy. And then the photocopy of the translation. So the translation that was done from your language. So again, photocopy for that, but an original written declaration from the professional translator. So that's original. Do not send photocopy, they'll return it to you. Okay. Part 5 explains about all the documents that is required to be completed. Everything you need, make sure you read it fully to understand, to confirm that you have completed everything. And then part 6 explains about getting your form commissioned by the commissioner. So the commissioner can be any of these listed here. So I chose a lawyer entitled to practice law in Ontario, and this is the final step of the application. So make sure what you need to do before going to the commissioner. So make sure you get your application signed by all the necessary people, gather all the documents that are required. So this is why this is what part 5 talks about, just to double check everything that you need is completed before going to the commissioner. And then bring the application and all the documents to the commissioner, including your birth certificates or any other relevant documents to your situation. And then you're gonna sign the next page in front of the commissioner, and then commissioner is gonna sign it. And then one important part is then that whatever correction you made in your application, make sure the commissioner puts his or her initials beside that changes, because otherwise those are not going to be accepted. To avoid any delay in your application, just make sure the commissioner puts his or her initials beside any change. So that's why I suggest you to keep the completed application for a good few days, just to double check that everything mentioned here is completed in your application, because you don't want delay in your process. This part, so here, yes, this is the part we were talking about. So here you're gonna place your initial in the box, you're gonna print your name, and then you're gonna sign it must be signed in front of the commissioner for taking affidavits. And then here the commissioner is gonna sign, and then their stamp, their occupation, and then here your payment method, your name, your subject's information is your child's name and everything. So fees, if you are the only one who is applying for the name change, then you're gonna just say like 137, and then you're gonna say $137 here. But if you're changing your name with your child, then you're gonna 137 plus 22, you're gonna say 11. If you're changing your two children's name, then you're gonna put 2 here, then you're gonna add the 137 plus 22 plus 22, everything mentioned here. And then you're gonna, like, how you wanna pay, you wanna mention here your information, your signature, everything. And then that's it. Congratulations, you have completed this form. So yeah, you're gonna make sure you print everything clearly. You print in blue or black ink. And yeah, that's it. I hope the form is clearer to you now, but if you still have any questions, please let me know in the comments below, and I will try my best to answer those questions according to my best knowledge. I'm also thinking to make another video to explain the process of post name change. I'm still undergoing the process. Once I am done with that, I'm gonna explain everything in that video. Till then, take care. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon.